As we heard from Logan, many in Washington calling for more gun control in the wake of the Colorado shooting. But Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who is from Colorado, pointed out that her state already has some of the strictest gun laws in the country. And this is what she tweeted out. Colorado already has universal background checks, a red flag gun control law, large capacity magazine bans, domestic violence gun laws, an extended background check period, state database background checks, gun-free zones. Killers like Ahmad al-Assaf do not follow the law.
Congresswoman Lauren Boebert joins us now live on the program. Congresswoman, thanks for coming on today. I'll just ask you the question based on the tweet you'd sent out here. If Colorado already has these laws in place, what exactly are Democrats calling for in this new gun control legislation they're proposing?
The new legislation that's being proposed right now in the Senate that's already passed the House really goes after gun manufacturers, and it puts people at risk for waiting even long periods before they can get their firearm. Think about the women who are in need of a firearm and want to get one for the first time. We have just in the past year 8.5 million new gun owners in America, and most of them because they wanted to protect themselves. And I can't blame them with all the rioting, looting, the burning down of minority-owned small businesses in America, while Democrats sit idly by and even fundraise and run their politics from those terrible situations, while insurrections are taking place in our country in places like Seattle, Atlanta, and others where there are active insurrections, and people want to be able to protect themselves. Not only that, but Democrats have been calling to defund our police officers. So we need to be able to protect ourselves. And it's not going to be another law on the books that does that. You cannot legislate the heart of man. You can't legislate away evil. And we've seen in Colorado, unfortunately, that gun laws do not work. They have failed us here in Colorado.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to hone in on with you, because President Biden spoke recently, talked about, instituting more gun laws. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo even spoke about your state in talking about we need national gun laws, national gun reform, rather, in a recent tweet. But you yourself are from Colorado. This is your state. You're saying, look, all what you're talking about is already implemented in this state. Is that true? Do you have some of the toughest gun laws in your state?
Colorado does have some of the most strictest gun laws. We have just about everything that Democrats are wanting to push nationally. And unfortunately, our state is showing that these do not work. Chicago is showing that gun laws do not work. And every time something like that Democrats are wanting to push nationally. And unfortunately, our state is showing that these do not work. Chicago is showing that gun laws do not work. And every time something like this happens, there's more knee-jerk reactions to legislate law-abiding citizens and restrict them from being able to defend themselves. You know, Officer Talley is a hero. He went, while everyone else was running out of King Soopers in Boulder, Colorado, he ran in and faced the attacker head on. And, you know, I wish that there were more people there to back him. If that place wasn't such a soft target, perhaps there would have been more law-abiding citizens carrying who could have helped neutralize the threat that was taking place there in Boulder. Unfortunately, the common theme in Colorado with all of these tragedies that we see is defenseless victims. A law didn't protect them. They needed a way to physically protect themselves. And in America, we see more deaths by hands, fists, feet, even hammers. And, are we going to start legislating that away? Are we going to be like these other countries who even ban knives? I mean, if hammers are the cause of more deaths than firearms, then maybe we need to start having background checks on hammers. I mean, look out, Black & Decker. We're already coming after manufacturers for firearms. Maybe you're next.
Well, the right to bear arms is part, it's in the Constitution here. It's a Second Amendment right here. But the White House was actually asked many questions about how they're planning to respond to Colorado. Again, we've talked about how this already typically sparks a gun control debate. But one question in particular sort of stuck out about the Second Amendment. Listen to this.
Given the history of people trying to enact gun control legislation in this country, Is there some consideration to taking a look at the Second Amendment and just addressing it from a sort of the underlying constitutional right to bear arms? Is that something that the president feels needs to be called into question so many years after the revolution?
So that question was asked in the briefing room, the press briefing room. What do you make of that reporter's question there?
The Second Amendment has been under assault for a very long time. And really, that's why I stepped up, because I saw Democrats deceiving the American people, lying and pandering to the American people, saying that we needed to take our rights away in order to make our country safer. Look, our founding fathers, they gave us a list of items and they said, hey, government, you didn't give these rights to the people. These are their natural God-given rights, and you are to secure them. You're not allowed to touch them. You're not allowed to meddle in them. And they basically said, keep your dirty, corrupt hands off of them. And this is all they seem to go after, is our constitutional rights, our enumerated rights. And we absolutely need a way to defend ourselves, to protect ourselves. It's not government's job to regulate that. And if there's any talk of executive action coming from the White House to regulate even further our right to keep and bear arms, I think that's a distraction from the true crisis that they have on their hands, and that's at our southern border. If there's any executive action that needs to be taken place right now, it's to secure our border and take care of this humanitarian crisis that is taking place, where thousands of people are risking their lives because of the Biden regime signaling to them to surge our borders and come across. So they need to take care of that before they're restricting the right of the American people to keep and bear arms. And I just want to remind you, here in Colorado, we have taken away qualified immunity from our law enforcement officers. People will defend themselves. They're either going to have the law enforcement to do it, or they're going to take matters in their own hand and defend themselves. So can't really defund our police and take away their liabilities and then expect us to not have the right.
Let me just ask you really quick, because you touched on the border and we got to go. I got 10 seconds for you. But Kamala Harris, they say they are taking control of this challenge, as they call it, on the border. They put Kamala Harris now in charge, not DHS. What are your thoughts on Kamala Harris, the vice president, now being charged with overseeing what's happening at the border?
I want to see results. I want to see a secure border. I want to see her supporting our Border Patrol agents who risk their lives each and every day, and telling these people to stop coming. Even the Mexican president is frustrated at the people who are trampling through his country, and even his citizens who are in cages right now in our country. This has to stop, and I want to see action to end this immediately.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert of Colorado, good to see you, and thank you for your time. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Emma Rechenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.